Hola, clase, buenos días. Feliz miércoles. Aquí estamos por nuestra última lección. Ay, yo estoy muy alegre, extático de compartir esta información con ustedes hoy. I can't wait. Here we go. This will be our last lesson of 7th grade. I'm excited. All right, so let's buckle in and get right to it. What do you say? Here we go. We're going to look at conjugating AR verbs. Oh, wait, we've done that already. No, let's take a look at conjugating ER verbs. Well, we've done that too. So I wonder what's left for us to do. Perhaps we shall conjugate IR verbs. Yep, you guessed it. It's the last type of verb in Spanish. Let's hit it. You remember your AR verbs? AR verbs? These, of course, go with these subject pronouns. The verb hablar, estudiar, viajar, they all end with AR. That makes them AR verbs. They have the AR verb endings. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Let's move on to the ER verbs. Notice the AR verbs all have A's in their conjugation endings. The ER verbs. You remember this from just the other day. All you do is switch the A's in AR verbs to E's. So rather than O, as, a, amos, ais, an, you have O, es, e, hemos, eis, en. Here are some of the verbs you folks have been looking at through Quizlet. Make sure you log on through Quizlet to get in and check those 10 verbs out. I shouldn't have to tell you what they all mean. Hopefully you've grown kind of familiar with those. Awesome. So ER verbs have E's. AR verbs have A's. I wonder what happens to IR verbs. Now, if you're thinking they have I's, you're not necessarily wrong, but you're also not necessarily right. Let's take a look. I just want to remind you that the subject pronoun still exists. So, for example, the verb vivir, it means to live. If you want to say I live, you still use the yo. If you want to say we live, still use nosotros. So the idea of conjugating this verb doesn't change. You just need to use a different set of endings. Let's take a look at the first person singular. In the AR verbs, it was an O. In the ER verbs, it was an O. And if you guessed it, in IR verbs, it's also an O. That's beautiful. It never changes. So if you want to say I anything, you know it's going to always end in an O. Yo vivo. Yo hablo. Yo como. It doesn't matter, right? Always yo trabajo. Yo nado. That's too easy. Now, you'd think that the rest of these would be O, is, I, imus, is, in. But that's a lot of I's. And not all of them take the I. There are a couple, however, that do. Imos is one of them. So in the AR verb, you have amos. ER verbs, you have hemos. IR verbs, you have imos. That makes it really nice. There's one more that switches to an I, and that's the vosotros form. So the nosotros and vosotros kind of work together. This one looks like is. Now, remember with ER verbs, it was eis. If you had switched that E to an I, that would have looked really weird, right? It would have looked like this with two I's. Is. So what they do is they get rid of one of the I's and just left with is. Makes much more sense. So here, vivís, right? You all live in Spain. Vosotros vivís en España. And remember, the nosotros is only used in Spain. So what's left for the tú? The él, ella, usted, third person singular, and the ellos, ellas, ustedes, third person plural. You ready for this? They do not change to an I. They actually just use the ER verb endings. That's it. Basically, if I were to wrap this up, the only difference between ER verb endings and IR verb endings is in the nosotros and vosotros form. Yep. You have o, es, e, hemos, es, en for the ER verbs, and you have o, es, e, hemos, is, en. That's it. Just the nosotros and the vosotros form go to an I. Not that bad, right? Here are a couple more verbs. The verb escribir looks like scribble or script or scribe, and that has to do with writing. This is the verb to write. So you could say, yo escribo. Yo escribo con una pluma en la clase de inglés. Right? I write with a pluma. You remember what pluma was? Bolígrafo or a pluma? Yeah, a pen in English class. Pero en la clase de matemáticas, yo no escribo con una pluma, yo escribo con un lápiz. Right? So the no also works. Everything works the same. It's just a different set of endings. Notice in that sentence, you don't write with a pen in math class. Nope, you write with a pencil, un lápiz. Another verb, abrir, means to open. Right? So yo abro la ventana cuando hace calor. I open the window when it's hot. Yo abro. Those are the only three verbs I'm going to stick with for IR verbs, everybody. AR verbs have the most. And I just really wanted to introduce this topic to you by the end of this year so that we have all of our regular verb endings. Let's take a look. AR, o, as, a, amos, ais, an. That's like those three verbs: to speak, to work, to look at, or to watch. ER verbs: o, es, e, hemos, es, en. That's like these three verbs: to eat, to read, to drink. And last but not least, finally, the IR verbs: o, es, e, hemos, is, en. Like the three we just looked at: vivir, escribir, and abrir. That's it, everybody. How cool is that? AR, ER, IR verbs. We're going to start next year, 8th grade, looking at our AR, ER, IR regular verbs. All right? So just in case you missed anything, we'll kind of go right back and brush up from the summer and get you right back on track. Nice work, everybody. Boy, I think we did it. Lo hicimos. And we couldn't have gotten by without a little help from our friends this year. All of the Peppas. They're still in our classroom. I guess over the summer I got to make really small masks for all those guys. Nice job, everybody. Well done. And use the next week to get caught up on any work that you might be missing. Okay? Nice job, everybody. Way to go. We'll see you in the fall. Have a great, safe summer. Can't wait to be with you all again in a classroom. Hasta luego. Adios.